Okay, I am live, and this time my mic is hot, and I'm not talking for 2 minutes, and realizing that no one can hear me. And I realize this is a private that I'll make public, but just because I'm trying to get this out without too much interruption. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, and I've had some more requests to do this style. At some point, I may do this live session in the evening, but we'll see. There's just so much going on here that it's hard to find the quiet enough time to do it. But some also people have asked me, and it's been almost 2 weeks, I think, since I've done some coronavirus updates. And there's two reasons. One, YouTube demonetizes them pretty quickly, even though what I was doing was covering some, especially the one out of France. That's been pretty popular. Studies out of France. There's been some experiments here in the U.S. I know there was a doctor in New York that had 350 patients that recovered. And I think I know of only one study that had two patients that didn't. But it's time to get this cure out there. And even if it's got 1% failure rate, that's a heck of a lot better. We can then isolate better. We can get the economies of the world back to go, people back to work, back to creating their own lives, and knowing that if you get ill, you can isolate and be cured of it, as opposed to just be stuck on a ventilator and maybe die. So we'll see. And that's basically, there's so much BS information going on out there that I've fallen for prey for a couple things and fallen into it, and I don't like it. And it's just time we should be doing this more correctly than we are, and that's a problem. And I know that's a commentary, but anyway, it has nothing to do with flexibility, which is why I'm here. So this was an article I was meant to read yesterday for release this morning, and I didn't get it done. So I'm going to try and do a quick one on it. This is part of why I'm doing it this way. So this comes from us, Amy Sedghi, I guess, Sedghi, in pocket.com, pocketworthy, pocket, it's a getpocket.com. I'm guessing it might be from the Guardian. I don't know, but 5 ways to improve flexibility. So let's kind of get right to it. Now this lady looks like she's looks like Tai Chi. Looks like a woman. I'm gonna say mid-40s, but that's just a guess. Anyway, I have no idea who that is. Tai Chi loosens muscle strengthens the body. So photo by Eric O'Connell, Getty Images. So it's probably just some random person hired. Anyway, select the best exercise. Now and I found another article which I might do later, which talks about doing different things for strength. When you're in your age, different stuff. In the short of it was resistance training. Do weight training at any age actually improves. And they I used to read articles about that in the 90s, so late 80s or early 90s. So it's a studies have been going around for over 30 years and people still don't know. Yoga, Pilates, Tai Chi, and stretching are recommended for improving flexibility by the NHS. So this might be coming out of England, while Pilates and National Health System, I don't know, concentrate on building strength and flexibility. Yoga is generally regarded as having a deeper focus on increasing the range of motion. Yoga can also be done to increase strength, especially when you do some body weight exercises. You're not going to build mass because you're not lifting more than your body weight, but you can definitely build strength within the physical, especially if you hold something for 2-3 minutes within the physical movements. There are lots of opportunities to elongate the muscles. Now this is a bone of contention. There are people who don't believe this, but I do. Now granted, there's a lot of genetic factors that go in here, but studies show elongate may actually be an inaccurate piece, but it also depends on how the muscles attach. But if you're going to build strength and you get this bulge, it looks like the muscle's shorting. And so by mass it is, but depending on how your muscles attach, and that is a genetic piece. Like my calves are very short, for instance, where other people's, their calves go all the way down their ankle. So that muscle's already elongated. But let's go on ahead of yoga. The idea that is this stretching out loosens muscles and stretches your whole body, especially useful. Now, a lot of people, there's some research too on stretching. I think static stretching is where you're at. It's with that forced stretching, which, but it's just how gymnasts get more and more limber, but it could do damage over time. There are no direct links between diet and improved flexibility, says Claire Fudge. Okay. I wouldn't expect there to be, but including a good quality protein post-exercise as part of a balanced diet. This balanced diet, in essence, protein. Again, protein is going to come up over and over again. I can guarantee it. I have not read this article already, so I'm not pre-read this. When collagen, which is made up from the building blocks of protein, is combined with vitamin C, it may help to increase joint decrease joint pain, supporting tendons. And yeah, and that is interesting because what they're finding out more and more is it's not just the vitamins and nutrients, but what's combined with them. And sometimes your absorption, depending on your meal and what you have with it, certain vitamins and minerals don't get absorbed as well, and so you need much more, and things like that. While it won't be a wonder cure for making someone more flexible, it may help reduce muscle soreness. Yeah. So again, to even though you're not lifting weights, you're still doing muscle tearing and kind of destroying things, and the protein and amino acids are very important to rebuild them. So holding stretches for long enough. Stretch is critical. Stretching is crucial, but not doing it for long enough is a common mistake. I will say that. So this is Dr. Tony Kay, professor of biometrics at the University of Northampton. Again, Northampton. Yeah. So this is in England. Most people only hold a stretch for 5 to 10 seconds, but if you want to affect the stiffness of the tissues, it needs to be for quite a bit longer. And this is also where I see some studies when they question the viability of stretching. Quite often you get this kind of nonsense. It's like I've seen studies where they study certain vitamins and they give doses that are so low. And I think it's on purpose because it's usually a pharmaceutical company trying to say, hey, vitamin C doesn't really do anything. Well, vitamin C, we know it prevents scurvy, but it also has some other things with the immune system, but it works better with zinc. There's some, depending on your age and other factors, you may need to take it with calcium. There's several things that kind of come into play. There's things I've seen things with vitamin C and vitamin E. I've seen C and D. I've seen C and zinc and potassium and calcium and stuff like that. So all those things have an effect because the body chemistry is going to change based on what's in your stomach. Okay, so we already said that, but she recommends 30 seconds. I would say, yep. Flexibility is not something you can change quickly. It takes time and effort with a static stretching program. Yep, 2 M's and an E, that is definitely England. How flexible you need to be depends on your lifestyle, generally that for day-to-day activities repeated. Now, it's also such as bending, it's also important to lift things properly. So some stretches will have you twist. And I know there's a lot of work on what to do for abs. And this is where personal trainers sometimes are there's some mechanics of certain things that are actually more dangerous than they're helpful. And there's one where you pull a weight and you twist. That's decent when you're younger. But as you get older, and also there's a question about how much flexibility. And so if you're twisting, you can actually injure yourself, your hips and other things. And sometimes you want rigidity, but think of an old tree. So a young tree, a wind blows and it just flaps all over the place, right? It doesn't have any stability. But it's going to survive the wind. Medium age tree, certain aspects of it are going to be flexible in the wind, and certain aspects are going to be hard. Maybe there's a dead limb, and quite often those will break off. And so part of the human body is kind of in that realm. And as you get older, your tendency to get stiffer and your muscles get sore and all that other stuff. But the idea to be able to bend when needed. And so if you're bending, depending on what you're doing, repeated essential tasks such as bending down to put on socks is enough. Sporting environment depends on the type of exercise. Squash, running, gymnastics, and martial arts are among the sports in which the increased range of motion helps to reduce the risk of injury, right? So basically the concept here is if your body is used to being able to turn in a certain way, maybe your shoulders, maybe your arms, or say to a certain extent. Now, obviously, you can't have full flexibility, and then you just be rubbery and you wouldn't be able to stand up. So if you get into a situation where maybe that extreme is tested a tiny bit, maybe you're a little bit sore. But if you have a reduced range of motion and something happens and you have to suddenly increase your range of motion, you fall, let's say skiing or something like in the wintertime, you fall wrong, you run into something, your body's not going to be that flexible, and the risk of injury is much higher. And then the amount of the injury itself can be much greater. Now obviously bones and stuff, when we stop growing, they're pretty rigid, and you're not going to increase those. And hitting something doesn't matter, you're going to break something. While a warm bath or shower may take more of a psychological benefit, McKinnon believes it is worth a try. One of the things that you have to overcome is stretching and increase flexibility is the muscle's natural protective response. So if you can relax the muscles via a warm shower or bath, you can potentially get more out of your stretches. Because now this actually goes back to an article I remember reading, God bless, I must have been in the mid 90s, where they did a study where they put people in a hot tub type situation. Now, it was in a, it wasn't, recreational hot tub. It's something more like you'd find in a locker room or, physical therapy. And I forget how long they did it because it's been too long since I remember reading about it, but it actually helped with the flexibility. Now, it didn't take the place of a warm up, but it greatly increased. It basically got the blood flowing through the muscles, and then they got in. And it wasn't like only 5-10 minutes. It wasn't like they sat in there half an hour, and then they went on to their exercises and things. So here again, we get back to this idea. So this has been around for quite a while, and it amazes me. Yeah, let's just close that. But yeah, it amazes me how often this is the case where stuff I remember reading in Muscle and Fitness, some of it Muscle Fitness, Iron Man magazine, some of the other bodybuilding magazines I used to read from time to time. I know people find it hard to lift weights, but they don't really understand my size. But this stuff, these ideas of coming back, yeah, it's like this stuff has been known for almost 40 years. And yet the general public doesn't know crap about it. There's so much nonsense that is put out there, especially about the balanced diet nonsense. You do not need fiber. Okay, that is a big myth, and I need to find more articles on that. You only need fiber if you're eating a lot of carbs, period. And if you're eating cheap carbs, you still don't need fiber. You'll be beyond regular. But yeah, make sure you get enough protein. And that's what this other article was talking about, the exercise for your age and your lifestyle. That'll come up over and over and over again. And it really needs to be animal derived protein. Unless you have pre-digested soy, and I don't know about England, but here in the States, the soy based proteins for the most part that you get here are pretty much garbage. And they really boost your estrogen. Now, apparently, from my understanding, the way that gets processed in Japan is very, very different, and you don't have as much of that problem. So again, Americans doing it on the cheap. But if you stick with animal protein, especially you get in your free range, your grass fed, because the corn fed beef, now there's a lot of arguments on it, but everything that I've shown shows like corn fed beef, the omega-6s are sky high, and you don't need them that high. But there's also some studies that suggest what makes the omega-6s bad for you are the carbs. And it's amazing. Carbs will keep you alive, but they're really a short-term solution. They're not a long-term thing. So anyway, I digress again. So, I thought that was going to go a little bit more in the different types. So this is more the improvements of stretching. I see 5 ways to improve your flexibility. So select the best exercise. Okay. Make sure you get enough protein, holding stretches long enough, practice often, and take a warm bath. So there you go. So what do you think of this article? Do you think Amy's just stretching for something? So I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good advice. Just find things that, what are your fitness goals? What is your lifestyle? Where are you starting? If you're 150 pounds overweight, Tai Chi or yoga might be the best thing to do. And then walk around the yard, just start walking in your neighborhood for, 3 days a week. Even as we're all social distancing and staying home and all this other stuff, there's more and more they're saying you need, some people don't understand this. You got to get out, especially if you got warm sunshine, get out in it, get out and walk. I know there's video of cops in London who don't understand this. That ought to be mandated. And so the long-term health of defects that are going on with all this stuff, we won't know for a while, but the vitamin D3 is very important. So get out there and get some sunshine when it's around. Walk your dog. If you have one, they can use it as well. And you can definitely, but that's how you can definitely start. And then, go from there. All right. Thank you very much. This has been Dad Bryon Lape reading another article. Thanks so much for the new subscribers. Welcome everybody. And if you got any questions, comments, whatever, let me know in the comments below. Where's the thing? It's over here. And the heat's come on, and now my allergies are going to go nuts. It's over here. Where is? Yeah, it's delayed too. Thanks for giving me a thumbs up, and we will see you. Good day.